Hello Internet, I'm Scott, and this is PLUGHITZ Live Unboxed. Today we're going to take a look at one of the products in the new Monster Smart IlluminEssence line, the Digit. Before we get started, it's important to note that if you're on our YouTube channel, you are likely here because of the Monster IlluminEssence line and the defects that we saw there. This line is totally new, manufactured by a different company, which we have a relationship with. So in the unlikely event that something goes wrong, we actually have contacts there that we can deal with. But they are very committed to a different experience from the last ones, from the IlluminEssence line. Obviously, the product is very different, and so is the design principle, because all of this is smart. All of this is able to be controlled from a smartphone app, which was one of the things that our viewers requested the most, other than please make them work. And so that is now possible, which means you can create scenes easier. You don't have to worry about the remote that never worked and things like that. So we're very excited about these. This here is the Digit. The product is designed to snap together in a way to create designs based on the concept of alarm clock digits or calculator digits. We've all seen them. We did this math at at CES. It's the 7-segment display: top, middle, bottom, 2 on the left, 2 on the right. You can create just about any character, just about definitely any number. From there, we see them in use all the time, and here you can do it with these little guys in your preferred design. So let's take a look at what they come with. There are 2 SKUs here, as you can see, which is unusual for us. But one is the main pack, and one is an expansion pack. So we wanted to do them together so you could see how the products kind of interact with one another. So here we go. The big box here is our main pack. It comes with the things that you need to get started. So let's see what all is in this box. Just like its larger sibling, the Prism, the box is a little difficult to get into, but that is because the product is shaped weird and there's not a whole lot that you can do about that. All right, that one's pretty easy to get into. So in here we have 3 Digit segments. We have a controller of sorts. We have a power cable. It actually appears to be the same wall wart that we saw with the Prism, which is kind of cool. We've got our manual, which if you've come over from the original IlluminEssence and from Thanksgiving on, you will recognize that this manual is much higher quality than what we saw with the after Thanksgiving manuals. And then we also have a design guide here, which is really cool. It shows you some creative things that you can do with the design. Here we have got a couple of USB-C to USB-C, so we'll understand that in a second. And here we have something with adhesive in hexagon. So we'll figure out what that's all about here in a second. 2, 4, 6, 8. That must be an octagon. All right. So first, let's take a look at the digits themselves. So the design should be pretty familiar to anybody who's used an alarm clock or a calculator. And So that's your front, and as you can see in the design here, you can control the colors in a very intense way, which is something that I like about this product. On the back, we have got the match for our octagon, and it's magnetic, which means that you can unpeel this, stick it where you want, pop it off, and then connect your pieces up. You'll see here we've got USB-C, which is different than our prisms. Our prisms had a custom connector. These use a USB-C connector, so definitely designed to be a very universal concept, and maybe that means that we can push power into it separately. We don't know. I'm not saying that for sure. Obviously, you would need at least one controller into the system, which is what we have here. This is our controller, and coming out of it, we have a USB-C. You will note, obviously, so long as you're not dealing with any color blindness, that this is green, and that's important because these other cables are also green on one side and red on the other. Again, if you watched our unboxing of the Prism, you'll remember that the green side goes, I think, towards the away from the controller, and red goes towards the controller. But it's also noted here on the cables. Back to the controller, though, we've got some buttons. In the center here is a power button. Here we have color and scene. Here we have mode. We have a minus and a plus. If you watch the Prism, that'll sound familiar. Those are the same buttons. If you are familiar with the old line, you will recognize a lot of those same concepts here as well, with our power, our color, and our mode and scenes. But again, these can be controlled from a smartphone and don't require that little remote right there. Thank goodness. So, because that was the source of all evil with the old line. So with this, let's take a look at what comes in our expansion. I bet we can predict what will be in here. There will be two digit pixels in here, plus we will have two more of those red and green USB cables. We might even get some extra adhesive if the previous unit is anything to judge on. All right, so here we go. There are two additional pixels, as expected. Here are three additional USB cables with the green to red and extra adhesive. Both packs actually come with extra adhesive this time, which is different than the other one. And then here we have got our quick start guide, our user manual, which is rounded because it was folded in the box, which is something that I'm not a fan of. But let's set them next to each other here. One of the things that we noticed with the other product was that the manuals were a different color, and you will notice that we have the same situation here, but the design guides are the same, which makes sense because they are the same product. Having the manuals be different colors makes them stand out if you're looking at a field of them, which is really kind of a nice concept. On the back of our new digit pixels, we've got our magnets, and we've got them here as well. So we've got all of our parts and pieces, and theoretically what we would do to put these together is we would take one panel, and we would plug our controller into it like that. And then we would take some of our USB cables here, and on the back of the panels, you will see some arrows, and those arrows are indicating the direction of data flow. So there's an arrow here pointing out, and there is an arrow here pointing out on the green side, which would suggest that we should go red side here to green side here. And then from here, you can design your patterns however you want, build a star, build shapes, build numbers, build whatever you want, because with this, because of the general design of it, you're not quite as limited on what you can and cannot do as far as shape. Obviously, it is designed for flow, so you will have some limitations, but less so than the Prism, where they have to be right up against each other to connect. So this gives some flexibility, if not necessarily some aesthetic appeal. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, we haven't used these, as you just watched me open the box, but we will be performing a detailed review on the products, this and the rest of the line, to see how they work. We're really excited about it. If you want to see that review and more, you can always go to plughitslive.com/reviews. And if you want to see other unboxings, including the rest of this product line, which includes the Prism, which we were just talking about, which we just finished, the Orb, which is a giant globe, and also the Neon, which is a pixel strip, an LED strip similar to what we saw in the last generation, except it has a diffuser built in. So instead of seeing the individual lights, you get just one constant light, which is really nice. Plus, it can be used outside, which the last ones couldn't. So all of those unboxings will be available by going to unboxed.live, or if you're on our YouTube channel, you can always just subscribe there, and under either the PLUGHITZ Live Unboxed playlist or the Monster IlluminEssence playlist, you will find these and a whole lot more. And until next time, ciao.